makes our video podcast different from others? We ask each guest what they're doing to give back to the world and their local community. Now that they've amassed their wealth, how are they giving back to help others? Additionally, we ask each guest to give our listeners a special gift to help them grow as a person and to influence their business. Welcome to the Roy Snarr Show, entrepreneurship and giving back. Now, here's your host, Roy Snarr.
So now one of our goals, we had this level of success. I've been fortunate now to have a great business partner, Garrett Burrow, and he's one of my closest friends. We have built this thing from below 7 figures to over 7 figures together. He's been very instrumental in all the success, and now we have great people a part of our team. We're bringing on more people. We're going to be hiring about 3 more people this year, which is not a fun process, but we got to do it. In addition to that, we said, hey, look, how can we actually make a bigger impact? How can we give back, right? This whole part of this show. How can we actually give back? Well, we can give back through training other agents so that they can not only change their lives, but change the lives of all of their clients. You see, about 70% of their clients are going to need some level of asset protection via long-term care, critical or chronic illness, and there's one thing that nobody's going to outlive, which is life, okay? Somebody is going to pass away at some point in time within their client book, okay? That's guaranteed. So if we can help these agents and these agencies implement these strategies, we're not only changing the agents and agencies' lives through financial means, which we get paid by the insurance companies directly, which is amazing. We're going to change their lives financially, but they're going to be changing their lives financially by helping others protect their entire financial assets. That is so rewarding. And at first, we didn't really want to get into the recruiting or the agency model because it's a whole other nightmare. It's a whole other world that you have to learn. There's different adversities. We were just focusing solo on production. But in order to make a bigger impact and do things larger, we had to do that. We had to say, you know what? Let's overcome these self-limiting beliefs, these objections about the struggles of an agency and the stress of dealing with agents. Let's just do it anyway. And we'll make it very clean cut. Hey, look, if you want to work with us, you totally can. If you don't, that's okay too. You can become a part of the mentorship program. There's so many different avenues that we offer these agents and agencies to become successful. It's whatever they want to do. So now, fast forwarding a little bit, we're able to help hundreds of agents, and our goal is to be able to help thousands of agents all over the country. Because for what we do specifically in our agency, asset protection, we're one of the very few that does this. There's a lot of agencies that they just sell health insurance, just sell Medicare, just sell life, just sell final expense, just sell annuities, just sell assets under management. Whereas we're very rare where we do a lot of long-term care as our main focus. A lot of these agencies don't have that. So we help take this niche market and give it back to all these agents and agencies so that they can give it back to their clients. Super rewarding. And our goal is to become the #1 long-term care agency in the entire country. We ranked #1 in Texas last year with a couple different companies and within the top 10 to 15, depending on what stats you look at in the entire country. But we are going to become #1 and we're going to be able to help thousands of agents all across the country. So if you're an agent or an agency owner and you want to learn more, you can become a part of our academy, part of our training platform. If you need help with contracting, we can help you with that also. Even if you're not even in this industry, and we have separate coaching and mastermind groups that you can become a part of because the fundamentals are all the same. So we help other entrepreneurs become successful through coaching and mentorship. We evaluate their business. And if you can start an insurance business selling life insurance from absolutely zero, sleeping in your truck sometimes, printing out flyers at the hotels so you don't have any money for Kinko's, and then door knocking these flyers, and you can build that up, you can build anything. Okay, so we translate some of those same fundamentals and principles to businesses that they're not specifically to insurance. Okay, so now that we've talked about the success that we've experienced and how we can help you as an entrepreneur or as an agent become successful also, and where we're actually going with this, the big thing here is what are we going to do with all this extra revenue, these profits that we're making? Now, we invest quite a bit back into the agency, as I mentioned. We take very little from it. However, there is a special section that we delegate to giving back. Now, there's a few ways that we actually give back. One, we spend a lot of time with agents. There's lots of free resources we give to share to them. There's this show they can watch for free on the platform or listen to it on a podcast that we help them. We have these guests fly in from all over the world to share their knowledge. I mean, this is, that's us investing into the business and then also giving back to the agents and other people and entrepreneurs. But the other thing that we focus on are charities. One of our biggest charities that we're actually a corporate sponsor of, is 1040impact.org. It's an amazing charity. It helps rescue girls that are being trafficked by the Taliban in Afghanistan. So when you hear about people, I get emotional about this because I have kids. When you hear about people throwing their kids over a fence, just to hopefully that somebody will catch them so they can have a better life. I mean, think about how dramatic that is, okay? So when you have folks here in the US that are complaining about their feelings being hurt, or they're not a right pronoun to use, or whatever stupid excuse it may be, and they don't like this place, you should go somewhere else and go live there for a couple weeks and see how bad it really is. We don't have to agree upon everything. I don't agree with everything, but at the same token, you have to think bigger than yourself. And one way to do that, just do a little bit of global research. See how screwed up the world really is outside of the US. And even in the US, there's a lot of things that we do to help people. We're actually working with a group too to help people here in the US, kids, and also veterans, lots of other things. But one of the main charities, as I mentioned, is that 1040 Impact, helping provide food, shelter, clothing for these kids. These are just kids. It's not their fault. They don't know anything. They're being enculturated and indoctrinated into these different concepts overseas. So we help them. We help give them the food, the clothing, schooling, everything. And so currently, Michael D. Butler, the owner of Beyond Publishing, he is the founder of this charity, and we're fortunate enough to be working with him and partnering with him on it. And there's over 400 kids that are being totally taken care of. Food, shelter, clothing, everything. They get to go to school. They have a chance in life. The dollars that we have today here, they go so far overseas, so far. And maybe that's not your forte. You want to focus more on the US. That's totally cool too. We do things to help veterans out. Big believer in helping vets. There's other food banks here that we donate time to. There's all kinds of things that you can do. So one of the big things that we give back, we help people become aware of these different types of charities. So that way, if you want to, no obligation, if you want to donate to them, you can. And even $100 goes so far. That can help feed a couple kids for a month. It's amazing how far it actually goes. And it's hard too, because you think about it, you go out and you make a purchase for yourself and you need to reward yourself. That's true. You got to take care of your family. But do you really need certain things? And then when you buy those certain things, you think about where that money could go and how far it could help somebody else overseas. It'll tug on your heartstrings a little bit, okay? So one of the things that we do is we help people become aware of these amazing charities and foundations and the people that bring them to you. That way you can help become a part of something larger than yourself. The other thing that we do on the giving back side of things is that these people that are very successful, we want them to give back. Hey, look, if you want a free copy of their book, if you want a free course by them, if you want a free resource guide, maybe it's a free coaching call, okay? Maybe it's some other free website subscription that they give away. We're gonna make them, in order to be on the show, give something back to you, the viewer. So in addition to the charity sponsors, some people that don't have charities, it's not their thing, they give back in different ways. Whatever that way may be, there's always gonna be an added value there. That was one of the big things that inspired me to actually create this show, is to bring awareness to certain items such as these charities and how to become successful and how to help other entrepreneurs and agents. Because all the other stuff I see online, there's not really a focus on that. They may interview a guest and say, hey, look, what's the tip you have for the audience? Or what are you going to try to sell them? What's your plug? But it's not like, hey, look, there's no strings attached. There's no obligation. If you want to buy materials from these people, you totally can. But they're going to give you something. See, that's what the main difference is. You're going to get something in value on every single show when we have a guest on. So we're going to do most of our recordings here at the studio in Austin. We also have a home studio, we call it, inside of the office, where I put up a bunch of pine board wood and I have a little lav mic, and then we just rock and roll on the iMac. Okay, very simple. But when we have these guests, then there's always going to be a good value add. So be sure to stay tuned, like, subscribe. We're going to be creating dozens and dozens of shorts every episode so you can stay connected with it. This content's not only going to be on YouTube, it's also going to be on every single podcast station out there that you can imagine, okay? So you have access to all of this material. You get to learn, coach, all this fun stuff. The biggest thing is you need to implement what you learn. A lot of people will motivation is like a shower, right? Take a shower, get motivated, get clean, and then you go out and then it just wears off, okay? You want to be able to actually implement this stuff. So just take little tiny nuggets. Maybe you got a nugget from one of the intro videos that we have, or another guest. You got one tiny nugget. That's all it takes. All it took for me was sitting at that Starbucks and then meeting that real estate agent. Okay, that helped perpetuate myself. And there's many other steps that were happening between there. But just take something and actually apply it, especially when you have people that are hyper successful. The average net worth of the person that's going to be coming on this show is 10 million and above. So when you have these people that are worth that much money, they didn't just inherit it. We're going to make sure of that. They actually earned it. They started from nothing. They grinded all their way up, and they've been able to build very successful companies and agencies, and they're going to give back and share. Before people come on, we actually do a phone interview. And I say, hey, look, I want to see if you're a good fit or not. It's an interview process. I don't want just anybody on this show. I want this show to become 100% value. Okay, this is all going to be value and giving back. It's a lot of work on our end and time, and it takes away from our personal production. It takes away from us working one-on-one with an agent. But the scalability of content is totally worth it to us, because if we can impact millions of people instead of just a few hundred or a few thousand, that's why we're actually doing it. And we believe that this show is going to become one of the top trending podcasts and will be one of the top YouTube channels in the entire country, or well, actually throughout the world now with digital content. And it's going to help millions of people just like yourself become successful, or even if you are already successful, even more successful in your practice. And even if you don't need any success tips and you just simply want to be a part of this, learn how to give back and become bigger than yourself, this is going to be a great spot for that. Thank you so much.